On the chilly, snowy evening of October 5, 2012, Sarah Ridgeway and Mindy Sigg, two mothers on opposing sides of the same horrifying crime, met when they both called 911. The first person to call the police was Sarah Ridgeway.
Westminster 911, what is the address of your emergency? Okay, what's going on there?
My daughter's missing. I guess she never made it to school this morning.
How old's your daughter?
She's 10.
Okay, what's your daughter's name?
Jessica Ridgeway.
And when did you last see her?
This morning when she left at 8:30.
Did she walk?
Yeah. And I checked her friend's house that she walked and they're not answering the door.
And you said that the school called, so they weren't?
And I work nights, so I slipped through the call.
Okay, sir, sorry about that. We've got several officers on the way over to help you out, okay?
After 18 days on October 23, 2012, Mindy Sigg made a 911 call.
Hi, this is Molly at Westminster Police. Can I help you?
Hi, I need you to come to my house. My son wants to turn himself in for the Jessica Ridgeway murder.
The first responder was astounded by the confession because it was so ridiculous.
Hello?
Is this Austin?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Austin. This is Molly at the Westminster Police Department.
Hi.
Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on right now, or how you're feeling, or how did this come about?
I don't exactly get why you're asking these questions.
Austin Sigg, who is this?
What kind of classes is he taking?
To be a mortician.
He wants to be a mortician? Okay.
But let's go back to October 7th, 2012, which was 2 days after 10-year-old Jessica Ridgeway vanished, before we delve into his corrupt mind. That day, as the man was strolling along the sidewalk in Westminster, Colorado's Superior Division, he came across an abandoned school backpack that contained purple glasses, boots, clothes soaked in pee, and a water bottle that said, "Life is good." Upon noticing Jessica Ridgeway's name on the water bottle, the concerned local posted the backpack online in an effort to retrieve its contents. Jessica Ridgeway went missing more than 48 hours ago, during which time an Amber Alert was issued.
At least 50 police officers, including the FBI, are searching right now, overnight, using bloodhounds in temperatures near freezing, and still no sign of young Jessica Ridgeway.
The local who discovered the backpack was only attempting to find its proper owner and was unaware of the Amber Alert.
Believe the backpack to be Jessica's.
Luckily, the police were notified when someone connected the dots online.
We've been looking for a lead, and this possibly is that.
Jessica was born in Westminster, Colorado, on January 23, 2002. Her parents were Jeremiah Bryant and Sarah Ridgeway. Jessica's parents were divorcing and embroiled in a custody dispute when she was 10 years old. Jessica lived with her mother, Sarah, grandmother, and aunt at this time, while her father resided alone in Missouri. Jessica showed an independence far above her years in the 5th grade at Witt Elementary School. She was mature beyond her years and frequently practiced at the nearby Stanley High School as a member of the Pee Wee cheer squad. Jessica did chores and took care of her dog without her mother having to ask twice.
She does everything on her own because she wants to make herself look like she's a grown-up. She wants to be a teenager before she's a teenager.
In 2012, Jessica had planned to dress up as a zombie lifeguard for Halloween. The irony and levity in her decision captured Jessica's silly and humorous personality. With a charming tiny gap between her two front teeth, she always had a smile on her face and a talent for making everyone smile. Her favorite color, purple, which could be seen in the purple-rimmed glasses she wore every day, complemented her contagious personality. October 5, 2012, was a Friday morning when Sarah last saw Jessica. Jessica was going to Chelsea Park to meet a friend and then walk to school, just like every other day. She always started her day with an orange and granola bar while getting ready and watching TV.
The clock goes off and she comes down, she watches TV, and she eats her granola bar, goes up and gets dressed, comes down, and, we peel oranges for her snack at school. She fills up her water bottle.
Jessica had called her friend's father earlier that morning to arrange a meetup at the park by his house so they could walk to school together. Her home and school were only 3 blocks apart. Sarah got home around 7:30 a.m. after finishing her shift at work to assist her kid with her school preparations. Since all 3 of them lived in the same home, Jessica had been looked after during the night by either her grandma or her aunt. Because of their work schedules, Jessica was always looked after by an adult, day or night. Jessica wore blue trousers, a puffy black jacket with a pink inner, and black boots with little fluffy palms to go to school on this snowy day. She also had on her unusual purple prescription glasses. She also had a Victorious backpack in black and pink. That day, Jessica decided to walk alone to school because she was running late to meet up with her friend, who had made the decision to leave without her, along with his parents. The buddy assumed Jessica would be driven to school by her mother. In order to make sure he arrived on time, her pal waited until only 10 minutes before classes started before asking his father to transport him. A few weeks earlier, there were rumors in Colorado that a white van was trying to entice girls with candy, which caused the neighborhood to become extremely vigilant. Unfortunately, Jessica was abducted that fateful morning as she was walking through a park. A young man hidden inside a gold Jeep Cherokee was poised to seize her. That day, Jessica never made it to school. Her mother, Sarah, was sleeping in after working a late shift the previous evening. When Sarah woke up at 4:00 p.m., she discovered Jessica was still not home. Jessica Ridgeway, 10, had been absent for 8 hours by this point.
The idea that she could be 8 hours in another direction put the police way behind in figuring out where this child might be.
That day, Sarah had deviated from her customary habit and set her phone on silent because she had received multiple sporadic calls. She found out at 10:00 a.m. that calls had come in from the police and the school when she checked her voicemails to let her know that Jessica failed to arrive at school.
We make the phone call to the number that the parent requests we call.
Sarah was alarmed and called the police right away to report Jessica missing.
Hey, what's going on there?
My daughter's missing. I guess she never made it to school this morning.
How old's your daughter?
She's 10.
Okay, what's your daughter's name?
Jessica Ridgeway.
And when did you last see her?
This morning when she left at 8:30.
Did she walk?
Yeah. And I checked her friend's house that she walked and they're not answering the door.
And you said that the school called, so they weren't?
And I work nights, so I slept through the call.
Okay, Sarah, sorry about that. We've got several officers on the way over to help you out, okay?
She then hurried to the school, looking over her shoulder the entire way and the entire campus. She looked everywhere, but Jessica was nowhere to be seen. Sarah experienced a profoundly depressing sensation, vacillating between the likelihood of a mishap and kidnapping. Jessica's blue eyes, blonde hair, height of 4 feet 10 inches, and weight of 80 pounds are all vividly shown in the missing posters. Given Jessica's reputation as a cautious and intelligent girl, it was unthinkable that she would get into a car with an unknown person. Sarah understood that Jessica had either been taken by force by an unknown person or had voluntarily gotten into a car with a person she knew well.
I watch her walk out the door and I shut the door, and that's the last time I saw her, and I want to come walking back through that door.
Law authorities started investigating the family, considering the potential that someone within might have been involved in Jessica's disappearance.
I try to stay positive about it.
Her father was the initial suspect. Jeremiah was battling for her custody, but Jessica's father was promptly ruled out as a suspect since he had a solid alibi in Missouri at the time of her disappearance. He was in court that day to discuss Jessica's custody since he had neglected to pay his child support. The day following her disappearance, October 6th, a comprehensive search involving law enforcement, family members, and the public commenced. Thermal sensors and search dogs scoured Jessica's regular morning path, but they found nothing.
Police brought in teams of scent-tracking dogs to search the family's neighborhood.
They looked in everything, washers, dryers. You find this girl, that's the main concern.
They found nothing.
Finally, Jessica's picture and description appeared on an Amber Alert. In order to serve as a visual reminder to the public of her disappearance, purple ribbons were hung around the school and along her route. There were shockwaves across the 13,000-person little village after this audacious crime.
Parents became more vigilant. closely monitoring their children's whereabouts and scrutinizing potential suspects close to home.
I think that all children should pay attention to what they're doing.
At the park near Jessica's house, there is now a growing memorial.
The local discovered Jessica's backpack on October 7th, 2 days after she vanished. The CODIS database was updated with foreign DNA that was taken out of the backpack. As it happens, the attacker was not registered in the system in the first attack, an attempted kidnapping case involving an adult female jogger that the DNA matched.
FBI profilers believe the suspect is likely male and might have recently missed work or suddenly left town. He might have changed his appearance or gotten rid of his car.
Jessica's backpack was found, which inspired both optimism and concern. Her glasses missing and her clothes wet in urine showed that she might still be with her captor, but it also signaled that she might be in danger.
Weekend, a glimpse of optimism for the family when Jessica's backpack and water bottle were found in another subdivision.
To find information that would help them locate Jessica, the police focused their investigation on the town of Superior. On October 10th, a tip sent authorities to Patridge Park in the town of Arvada, 9 miles from Jessica's residence. There, they found human body parts in a black trash bag that was thought to be incomplete.
Police are telling us maintenance workers picking up trash along the side of this road found the body. The garbage truck is still parked here, and you can see there the crime scene markings police left behind. Today they're processing the scene and releasing the profile of a killer.
Patridge Park, an ancient mining region, was now bordered by new housing developments and a major freeway. They're processing the scene and releasing the profile of a killer. Police searched the area for more evidence after discovering the remains, which were wrapped with a white blanket. The torso was identified by the authorities by DNA testing. Jessica Ridgeway was the victim and her family was informed. The medical examiner saw evidence of cleaning upon closer inspection. It was shocking to discover a wooden cross within her vagina.
It was found at one of the crime scenes in the case, but police won't say which one because that is information only the killer knows.
From Jessica's bones, a suspect's DNA profile was taken. Police have not yet ruled out Jessica's mother, Sarah. Bryant, Jessica's father, said, "I don't see how any parent could do something like that to their child," in response to an inquiry on Sarah's possible role in the incident.
I just want to find my daughter. I just want her back home,
Sarah said in a 38-minute statement made public on October 17th.
I want to stress that we recognize that there is a predator at large in our community.
Police searched Mindy Sigg's town on October 17th. Austin and his younger brother, Mindy's 2 sons, shared a home with her. Even though there was no urgent need for the police to search Mindy's house, they were nevertheless interrogating nearly everyone. The information she gave them was recorded, but her neighborhood was agitating. Who thought Austin Sigg, her older son, was strange?
Also recognize that you are familiar with your neighborhood. You'll recognize when something is out of place, when something seems odd or suspicious. We ask that you call immediately and report that information to us.
Detectives were directed to Austin Sigg on October 19th after receiving a tip from one of Mindy's neighbors. The tip talked about Austin's silver cross that he carried around his neck and his fascination with death. Despite questioning him and searching his residence, the police were unable to gather enough evidence to file charges. Additionally, they looked through his father's estate in Parker, a hamlet southeast of Denver. Owner of a media firm, Austin's father, had bought an estate with a view of the town, so there was enough of room for Austin to conceal Jessica's bones and possibly other evidence. Using a buccal swab, the police collected a sample of Austin's DNA to compare with samples taken from Jessica's water bottle and her body. Austin Sigg appeared to be under more pressure due to the increasing number of police officers, and on October 22nd he started to feel ill and unsteady. He revealed his anguish to his Arapahoe Community College friends. But who was this Austin Sigg and what was causing his anxiety in the presence of the police? The origins of Austin Reed Sigg are in Westminster, Colorado. Stricter parenting may not have changed the outcome, but Austin's final acts may have been influenced by the absence of intervention. Austin's first experience with criminal activity happened on May 28, 2012, when he was 17 years old, after a frightening event. Using a makeshift chloroform cloth, he tried to immobilize a 22-year-old female jogging at Westminster Park near Kettner Lake. After pulling his car up next to the police patrol, Austin went through the park, saw the jogger during her first loop, and concealed in the underbrush, waiting for her to come around for another run before striking. Luckily, the jogger was able to repel him and get away, reporting the event to the police right once. The jogger gave the police a description of him as a white male, 5'7", and of average build, with brown hair, and between 20 and 25 years old. Authorities removed a DNA sample from her blouse and entered it into the FBI CODIS database, Combined DNA Index System, in response to this ambiguous identification profile. Austin, Mindy, and Robert took a trip to the U.S. Virgin Islands after this abortive attack. There is no proof that he did anything illegal while on vacation. Remarkably, Austin showed no symptoms of odd conduct or anxiety during the attempted attack on the jogger, which preceded the sad event that resulted in Jessica Ridgeway's death. Let's fast forward to October 22nd. He knew it was just a matter of time till they realized it was him all along. The police had collected his DNA in connection with the Jessica Ridgeway case. His mother's lap provided him with the only solace throughout his anxious moments. Austin may or may not have slept in his mother's bed on a regular basis, but this night he did. The trauma of what he had done had weighed heavily on him the night before he had made his confession. Finally, on October 23rd, Austin admitted to his mother Mindy that he had killed Jessica.
Hi, this is Molly at Westminster Police. Can I help you?
Hi, I need you to come to my house. My son wants to turn himself in for the Jessica Ridgeway murder.
And what's going on there? Ma'am,
not hear me? He just confessed to killing her.
I know. I want you to tell me what's going on. Can you tell me exactly what he said?
But he did it, and he gave me details, and her remains are in my house.
Did you see them?
No.
Is he there with you?
Yes.
Is he cooperative?
Yes.
How old is your son?
17.
What is your son's name?
Austin Sig.
Can you spell it? You said Austin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and spell his last name for me.
S as in Sam, I-G-G.
Okay, I understand that you're probably, feeling pretty crappy right now, but I want you to know that you did the right thing.
He did it. He just wanted me to call. He's turning himself in.
Okay. Do you think that he's going to be cooperative with the officers?
Absolutely.
Okay.
At that point, Mindy informed the authorities that part of Jessica's remains remained in their home and made the 911 call to confess on his behalf. The police dispatcher talked Mindy into giving Austin the phone so they could talk to him face to face and get further information about where the rest of the remains might be found.
Do you think that Austin would talk to me?
Will you talk to him? Yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Hello?
Is this Austin?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Austin. This is Molly at the Westminster Police Department.
Hi.
Can you tell me a little bit about what's going on right now, or how you're feeling, or how did this come about?
I don't exactly get why you're asking these questions. I murdered Jessica Ridgeway.
Okay.
I have proof that I did it. There is no other question. You just have to send a squad car, something down here, and
right.
I will answer all the questions that you want to ask,
okay.
or anyone wants to ask of me as soon as you gotta get down here.
Okay. Austin, I have a police officer that's going to come over to your house, okay? Can you tell me what part of the house that her remains are in?
Underneath the house and across this.
Okay. Did you know Jessica before this?
No, I did not.
Are you going to school anywhere?
We're at the Hope Community College.
And you're 17?
Yes.
Austin's tone on the conversation began calmly and matter-of-factly, but as the dispatcher persisted in asking, it soon became agitated. Concerns regarding the motive and the murder. Austin also disclosed that he received a driving ticket and admitted to assaulting a woman near Kettner Lake during the call.
Do you have a criminal history of any sort?
The only other thing that I have done that before this was the Kettner Lake incident where the woman got attacked. That was me as well. And other than that, the only criminal history I have is a speeding ticket.
Okay. Do you have a car?
I do.
What kind of vehicle do you have?
Jeep Grand Cherokee.
What color is it?
Golden.
Is it at your house?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right, Austin. Well, like just like I said, I am sending you a police officer, okay? But you have to understand that you know, we take this stuff very seriously, and like I said, you did the right thing by calling.
I would have to hope that you would take this serious because this is important. I'm over here.
I absolutely am taking this serious.
Part of Jessica's remains, he acknowledged, were under the house in a crawl area. It's interesting to note that, considering Austin's well-known marijuana use, the crawl area not only held proof of the crime, but also a marijuana plant.
What kind of classes is he taking?
To be a mortician.
He wants to be a mortician? Okay.
When Mindy revealed that Austin's dream job was to become a mortician, she laughed out loud. This response could indicate guilt, denial, or even a lack of awareness of the seriousness of the situation. Austin sounds quite rattled up during the 911 call, and he and Mindy are both crying in terror.
Okay. Are you still at the front door?
Yeah.
Okay. They're walking up to your house, okay? They for their safety reasons, they park down the street and they're walking up. Okay, and like I said, they're going to be plain clothes. They're not FBI.
But Austin seems a little more at ease when he visits the police station later to give a formal confession. He keeps his composure and isn't as obviously rattled.
Do you see the plainclothes officers and their badges?
Yeah, they're here.
Okay, I'll let you go speak with them, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
During this stressful and upsetting scenario, Austin and Mindy were experiencing panic attacks and physical illness, so the dispatcher stayed on the line with them until the police arrived. Austin was immediately read his Miranda rights by detectives in front of Mindy, who granted permission for Austin to provide a complete statement. Austin went with the cops voluntarily and did not fight or struggle. Austin was idly munching and drinking cola when he made his confession. This conduct was later mentioned in court. Remarkably, the first DNA test that was performed on Austin's sample, about which he was quite anxious, was negative. After a second sample of Austin's DNA was analyzed and the results showed a positive match, it was discovered that the mistake had been made by a lab technician. Since the first DNA sample didn't match, his admission was what ultimately brought him to justice. Austin's house was searched by police while he was being questioned at the station. Similar to the bags used to wrap Jessica's torso that they discovered in the park, they discovered black trash bags in the crawl area. Austin acknowledged in the interview that he had killed Jessica in a horrible deed. He denied knowing Jessica or having ever seen her before, and said he had gone hunting that day. Jessica was a susceptible target because she was likely one of the few, if not the only, student still walking to school on that tragic day due to her tardiness.
Go on and tell me what happened after you grabbed her.
She screamed and I told her to be quiet, and I used zip ties to zip tie her hands and legs together, and I hopped in the front of my car and I drove around for probably a good 10-20 minutes. I asked her if she had a cell phone, looked for that. She kept asking me questions and I would answer them, and I would lie to her. I would tell her that everything was going to be okay, and I would just lie to her.
He described in graphic detail how he had taken her, put her in his car, and driven away before arriving at his mother's house.
And I took her up to my room. And I sat her in my room, and I played Netflix on the TV for her. It was either like Family Guy or something. I don't remember. It was some cartoon. I just kind of sat there. I sat there and I stared at her, and I just remember absolutely blankness in my head, having no thoughts, nothing, and it terrified me. And after sitting there for probably an hour, maybe, I don't exactly remember, time kind of started feeling weird then.
Time started to feel a little strange. Then he drove through the neighborhood and into the garage, cementing Jessica's doomed future.
After that, I asked her to change into a pair of a shirt and shorts that I had. And I let her go into the bathroom to do that. And she came back, told her to put all her clothes in her backpack and get her backpack ready and everything to go.
Her clothing were soaked with pee, so out of a deranged urge, he forced her to change into his t-shirt and shorts. Austin first attempted to choke her with zip ties after getting his way with her. After that failed, he physically strangled her. Austin carefully disposed of Jessica's stuff the next day. To trick the police, he carelessly dumped her backpack into the open in Superior. Then he threw her jacket in a garbage bin to mislead the police dogs that were searching for corpses around him even more. But Austin's lustful imagination was far from complete. Austin said that he had given Jessica a pendant made of a tiny, intricately carved wooden cross. But the cross turned up within her when the autopsy was done later.
We believe that it was left behind or dropped by somebody that was involved and knows information that we're looking for.
Left intentionally, perhaps?
It potentially was left intentionally.
Remarkably, Austin acknowledged that before she inserted the wooden cross into her body, she had etched 3 designs on it.
The cross has 3 distinct marks on one side, and on the other, what appears to be the letter F.
The cross was a bizarre attempt to deceive investigators by portraying the offender as a religious zealot, not a sign of regret. The wooden cross that was found inside her genital area was evidence of Austin's extreme depravity. His choice to erect a sacred symbol in a location that denigrated Jessica demonstrated his complete lack of regard for her, in both life and death. Austin was charged with all of the offenses he had committed against Jessica and the female jogger he had attacked earlier. Because of his age, he was first placed in a juvenile facility, but he was then charged as an adult and moved to a Jefferson County adult prison. He spent the first 52 days of his incarceration in a secure detention unit, SHU, cut off from the outside world. Remarkably, Austin entered a not guilty plea to all 15 of the allegations that were read out in court. Austin entered a guilty plea in October 2013, shortly before his trial started, despite his initial plea. The purpose was to protect Jessica's family as well as his own from the graphic details of the crime. Chief Judge Stephen Muser of the Jefferson County District Court read a letter during the trial that expressed thoughts that Austin had expressed during the interview. The judge said, clearly quoting Austin, "I know that personally I'm a monster, but I don't know about society because I've never really been that great with it. Evil is the best term to describe what I've done." Austin looked at the floor, his eyes empty and emotionless throughout the whole ordeal. But when he started crying during the victim impact statement, a hint of compassion showed through. It's unclear if he was crying out of true regret for Jessica or in response to his own situation. I hope that while he sits in his chilly, lonely cell, he considers the horrible deeds he did each day. Due to the Supreme Court's decision, Austin was spared the death penalty because it is unlawful to execute anyone younger than 18.
is that he will not, and we want to emphasize, will not face the death penalty.
He received a life sentence on November 19, 2013. The judge ordered him to remain in prison for the rest of his life and to serve a concurrent 86-year term. Even if I could keep criticizing Austin for the heinous acts he committed, it's clear that he harbors a strong sense of self-disgust. I sincerely hope that he struggles on a daily basis with the consequences of his actions. Sarah, Jessica's mother, chose not to give Austin the satisfaction of admitting how much harm he had caused Jessica's family.
I don't think that the defendant has the right to hear how he affected me, my family, or who Jessica was. Once we walk out of this courtroom, we'll not remember his name.
Rather, she implied that she would purposefully forget his name and focus on keeping Jessica's legacy alive in their hearts as they left the courtroom. Jessica's age will always be 10 years old. Chelsea Park was renamed Jessica Ridgeway Memorial Park in her honor 1 year after her untimely death.
Everywhere you look, there are hints of Jessica, from the purple that is speckled throughout the park.
In the area where she was found, a bench and memorial rock were erected to encourage others to consider her lasting legacy. For his protection, Austin was moved to a prison outside of Colorado in 2014. The precise location was kept a secret from the public. It is to be hoped that his incarceration emulates the circumstances placed upon his victim. Please share your opinions with us in the comments section below, and remember to subscribe to Crime Explorer. Until we meet again, be careful.